Okay, welcome to JC Connect. In the previous class, we were discussing about the need for the protected water supply. That also we have discussed. The main aim for providing the protected water supply is uh, to make safe to a public health. That is our main motive behind the protected water supply scheme. So many things we have discussed. Maybe 3 or 4 marks question will be asked in your examinations. Hmm. That is, what is the need for the protected water supply scheme? So there you have to discuss. Um, First one, very important, related to the human health. Then, how exactly it has to be supplied with relevance with the water treatment process, and what kind of diseases are going to come if you don't give the need for protected water supply systems. So, we discussed the per capita demand also. The per capita demand is um, how much water is required for the human beings per day. Normally, it is given by LPCD, that is liters per capita per day. So, capita stands for per person. So, that also we discussed. And normally, for domestic purpose, we'll consider it as 135 liters per capita per day. And industrial purpose, that is 40 liters per capita per day. For public use, it is 25, and for fire demand, normally it is 55 liters per capita per day. And for the losses, we are considering it for 55 LPCD. That also we have discussed. Then the factors affecting the per capita demand, that also we have discussed. The first one, that is the size of the city. If you go to the metropolitan cities, to the normal cities, so there the consumption is very high due to their various demands. That is the one. Then the climatic conditions that I have already explained, that if you go to Mangalore and Rajasthan areas, there the lot of humid conditions it will be there. Uh, then there will be a lot of water consumptions. That is also going to affect. Then uh, the third one, the habitat of the people and the luxury they used it. Okay, it depends on the type of uh, lifestyle they will live in their cities. That is also going to affect. So if the upper class peoples will be there, lot of consumptions will be there because they have the lot of demands for the uh, water. Then the fourth one, that is industrial and commercial activities. So wherever the industries will be there, the cities and some of the commercial activities in the cities, so there will be increase in the demand. So that is also going to affect. Then the quality of the water supply. Normally, if the quality and the taste of the supply water is good, it will be consumed more, because in that case the people will not use the other source as private wells, hand pumps, etc. So in the vice versa also, you can discuss in other way also. If the quality and the taste of the supply is good, um, sometimes it will be consumed less. You can think in other way also, because the wastage is very less. If the bad quality of water, if you are using it, then normally the wastage will be more. Just like in your reverse osmosis systems, those who are having the RO systems, RO water purifiers uh, uh, in your households, normally uh, the RO systems, if you are having water treatment, so there, if you see, if you are if the water is entering to the RO system 100 liters, then 50 to 60% of the wastage will be there. Wastage water. This is the drawback of the RO systems. Only 40% will be used. This is one research challenge. This will discuss wherever we have one separate topic called reverse osmosis systems. Why this is coming like this? Even this RO systems, If the quality of the water is not good, this percentage is going to increase 60 to 70%. Wastage is going to increase. That we have to always keep it in mind. Then the sixth one, the pressure in the distribution system. If the pressure in the distribution pipes is high and sufficient to make the water to reach the third or even fourth storage, the water consumption shall be definitely more. This is a very important component. We already said that as for our CPHO manuals, what it will say is that CPHEO, PHEEO manuals. So we need 7 meters at first storage building. First storage building. Suppose if the pressure is very high, assume that it is a 10 meter and 12 meters above, then normally the consumption will be very high. So it is a human mentality that if you are maintaining that much high pressure, the water will come with lot of pressure, then of course the usage will be more. But when you are using with the metering systems, this will not happen. So how much you will use, that much it will be provided. So then the development of sewerage facilities. This is one more very important component in um, 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 basic or the factors affecting to the per capita demand. As pointed out earlier, the water consumption will be more if the city is provided with flush systems that I already explained. If the flush system is there, then of course there will be a lot of consumptions, and shall be less if the old conservation systems like our Indian systems, if you use it latrines, that will be very less. This is one very important component. But nowadays you have less uses of flushing systems are available. That also we can discuss in particular later also. The next then system of supplies. The water may be supplied either continuously for all 24 hours of the day or may be supplied only peak periods during the morning or evening. The second system, that is the intermittent supply. See, there are two types of systems are there. One is a 24 by 7 system and one more is intermittent supply. So if you are providing the 24 by 7 systems, then what will happen? If you are providing with the intermittent supply, what will happen? The second system, the intermittent system, maybe lead to some saving of water consumption due to losses in occurring in the lesser time and more vigilant use to water by the consumption. Means if you are using water some or intermittent supply, normally the usage will be very less. Here it will be more. But this can be changed in reverse way also if you are using with the metering systems. So then cost of the water. Normally, if the cost of the water is also high, then the lesser quantity. You may think that it's just like a current. Um, if the slab, if you are exceeding with 30 units, then there will be charges will be more. If you are exceeding with 100 units, the charges will be more. Then the same way in the metering systems also, uh, if you provide all these, if you are crossing 100 units of in water supply, so then the charges will be very less. Then the usage will be less. So like that, the cost of water is also going to affect. Then the policy of metering and method of charging that I already discussed. Then uh, on the basis of meter reading fitted um, at on the basis of meter reading, sometimes what will happen at the head of the individual houses connections and recordings of the volume water consumed. See, means overall the policy of metering and method of charging, as I already discussed, that like just like our current, if you make your water meter water meter uh, just like a slabs, some slabs will be there. So in 10 units of water consumption, then assume that it is 20 rupees. If you cross this, then it will be double like for each units it will be uh, 3 times or 2 times. They are 3 times you have to give the charges. Then automatically uh, the usage of the water is going to be reduced. Like in the metropolitan cities, it is already installed. So if you they have given on slab, if you cross that slab, normally um, the doubling of the rate is going to happen. Then we'll go ahead with a variation in the demand. How exactly the variation in the per day it is going to happen. The per capita demand so far discussed has been based upon the annual consumption of water. What we have discussed, that is annual consumption of water. So it was therefore defined as the annual average daily consumption per person. So then, or you can discuss in other way also, not a problem. Per day, how much it is going to happen. Then per year, how much it is going to happen. For the design period of 30 years, I already said that your water treatment facilities or water supply distribution network are designed for 30 years. Then each year, how much it is going to, each person is going to consume. So then the variations, it is depends on the seasons, and it depends on the month, and even the hours of the day also. Then how exactly it will be there. So then seasonal variations. The water demand varies from season to season and occur due to the larger use of water in summer. Summer season it will be very high. Lesser use in the winter, then much less in the rainy season. That we have to always concentrate. So these variations may also be caused by the season use of water, which includes such as processing of cash crops at the time of harvesting. This is also going to happen. So then this is very the last statement, that is the maximum seasonal consumption, that is equal to, here it is 1.5 times the 1.3 times the annual average daily rate of demand. See why they will make it 1.3. So you have in the next slides also you will get many types of the maximum calculations. One is you have three types. One is uh, the normal supply, then average, then maximum. So normally we will go ahead with the maximum demand only. Maximum demand means normally assume that by calculating you have 3 persons are there in your houses. So then suppose if you are using 135 liters per day as for our previous discussions. So then so we'll get it around uh, so 300 uh, so 405 so liters per capita per day you'll get for our 3%. That is normal calculations. The normal, if average, if you consider it, so assume that if it is going to absorb 410 liters per day, so it has own calculations. Then maximum. So why this maximum will be considered? Normally, what will happen in your houses? Um, Sometimes during some festivals, or sometimes during any guest is going to come, there you are going to consume a lot of water than the normal supply, that is 135. Instead of 135 you may going to consume 150 lpcd. So then we have to go with the maximum requirement, that is surplus. Normally we'll go for the surplus calculations. So then the standard as for the CPHO norms, this has they have arrived by conducting many successive experiments. How exactly the maximum seasonal consumption is to be satisfied? Then normally it has to be made at 1.3 times the annual average daily rate of the demand. Then whatever the daily it will be there, it has to be multiplied by 1.3 times the demand. See why not they have taken 1.2 or 1.1? Because they have conducted some series of experiment, and they have taken the samples from each of the villages as well as some of the cities, and they came to know that This much 30% surplus is required for each of the houses. So it includes some of the losses also that has to be considered. So then daily variations. So day-to-day variations called the daily variations. This depends on also general habits of the people, climatic conditions, and characters of the city as industrial, commercial, or the residential. For example, the water consumption is generally more on Sundays and holidays. We know that on days of dust. This all we have to consider. Not only per day you have to calculate, you have to calculate Sundays and holidays also you have to calculate it. In that case, if you are doing it daily consumption, if you are doing it, it is 1.8 times the average demand you have to do it. See, previously 30% surplus we calculated it surplus, and here we have to calculate 80% surplus. Then the means it is like total 80% surplus, because daily variations if you are calculating, then Saturday, Sundays also you have to include it. Seasonal if you are calculating, that is 30% surplus you have to calculate it. Then hourly variations, how exactly the hourly variation is going to happen. So again, there are variations in the hour demand called hourly variations. The consumption in the early hours, morning, it will be very high. So 0 to 6, it will be very high. Normally it is small, increase sharply as the day advances and reaches to peak between 8 to 10. Morning it will be like um, assume that it is from 6 to 8, very less 6 to 7. Then as it is on an average, we are telling on an average, these are the on an average calculations. 8 to 10 is the peak, then decrease sharply about 1 p.m., remains constant up to 4 p.m., again increases in the evening, reaches peak between 7 to 9 p.m. So finally falling low at the rate of hours in the night. Night, nobody will use it. So this is how the things is going to happen. You can see here from 0 to 6. The 0 you can assume that it is very less. You can it is at 12 o'clock night. Then it is sharply. Then 6 to slowly it is increasing. See here from 8 it is normally it is peak. Then uh, you have uh, at 12 to 16, like 4 o'clock it is very less, then again it will be increased. This is what the daily variation chart of the demands. Then the peak factor I already said, normally for uh, uh, the maximum demand we already calculated it. uh, we have to see the peak factor also. Peak factor. So in that peak factor, we have up to 50 lakhs, we have to multiply by 3 times, and 50 to 2 lakhs, it is 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 times. Above 2 lakhs, it is 2. Then for rural water supply schemes, and you have to multiply by 3 directly. For this, we have to do it for the average daily demand. Suppose if the average daily demand, assume that we have 135 liters per capita per day, then um, it has to be multiplied by 3 times. Then how exactly this can be calculated? So then assume that we have 50,000 population is there. Then uh, you have 135 per person liters per capita per day. Then it has to be multiplied by 3. Like this, the total you will get it in liters per day. That all the calculations you have to do. So in design period, as we already know that, this is also very important. We have to assume that we have a population of around 100 people this year 2021. Then we have to design it for 2051. Then the population has to be forecasted. For forecasted. So then first you have to population forecast it. Then for that, what will the 2051? For that we have to calculate it. So this is with respect to the design period. So then uh, Normally, the water supply schemes includes huge and costly structures. Why this has to be done? See, for example, dams and reservoirs. Every you are not supposed to construct it. So always this has to be a one-time investment, and it has to be designed for the number of years. So, for example, the water remains, including the distribution pipes, are laid underground and cannot be replaced. Or any of the materials, any water supply distribution networks, or any water treatment facilities, you cannot construct it in a year. It may take sometimes 3 to 4 years. So once you construct it, it has to be there for the longer period. Then only whatever the investments the government is doing for the schemes, that will be perfect, and always it has to be satisfied for the longer days. So always for design period, you have to see all the considerations in the ground levels. So then now factors, some of the governing of the design period. Um, we will discuss this in the next class, or we'll finish this. First one, that is a useful life of the pipes. That is very important. Useful life of the pipes or the structures, it is going to affect first one. Then the growth of the population, that is the second factor which is going to affect the design period. Then the loan. Suppose if you are taking the loan and if you are constructing the dam, that is also going to affect the design period. The rate of inflation. So inflation in the sense, for example, lockdown, the market rate has come down. So then these kind of things are going to happen. That is also going to affect the design period. Then the efficiency of the components. For example, pumping systems. If you are installing pumping systems, then if the pump is coming only for 5 years instead of 10 years, then the efficiency will be the efficiency of the total, or the efficiency of the total project work is going to be reduced. That we have to consider it. So then factors, these are the main important. First one, that is the life of the components, then the population, then the interest on the loans, then the rate of inflation, then the efficiency of the components, constructing materials. That also we have to consider it. So the next, we'll go ahead with the demand of water in the next class. So if you have any doubts in this, you can ask.